In celebration of October being Women in Sales Month, I wanted to share with you the first female sales professional that truly influenced me and made a difference in my professional career. My mom, Diane Green. My mom spent the first 13 years out of college as an underpaid and underappreciated teacher. She taught English, Spanish, and business over the course of 13 years, before deciding one summer that perhaps she should get her real estate license. So she spent the summer studying, and once she passed the test, she taught just one more year before deciding to go full-time into real estate. Those first few years in real estate were really hard. Remember, this was the early 80s, no internet, and it's a 100% commission job. I remember my mother spending hours at the office doing what they called phone duty, where she sat in a room with one other agent and took inbound calls from prospective buyers and sellers. Remember, the sign at the house would just have a phone number. There was no internet. You couldn't look up the listing number, and there was no Zillow at that point. So it took her a long time, several months, even a few years, in order for her to build her own book of business. And during that period of time, she helped out other agents. She held open houses in an effort to meet prospective buyers. She worked with sellers. And over time, my mother became one of the top 10 agents in town. She was an overachiever and top performer for several years. She worked really hard. I'm talking about 50 and 60 hours a week, nights and weekends. Remember, people buy and list houses when they're not working. So in the evenings and on the weekends, when everybody else is playing, my mom was working. And then over time, she got to a point where she wanted to give back to the real estate community. And so she became the president of our local association. And then a few years later, she became the president of our state association. I remember those installation dinners. My brother and I would get all dressed up. My dad had a tux on, and we would sit at that 8-person table with 4 other individuals and watch my mother be installed as president of the local or the state association. It was such a proud moment for our family. My mom had worked really hard, and it was a really prestigious position for a woman to be the president of the state or the local association. So, as October being Women in Sales Month, I wanted to share with you a little bit about why perhaps I have sales in my blood and why I love helping other sales organizations and their sales reps get better. Thank you, Mom, for blazing the trail and setting the example. I love you very much. Happy Women in Sales Month to everyone.